I made it. Yeah. Any idea how I can connect to the projector?
I think you connect directly to the screen, to this one.
Oh, the TV?
To the TV, yeah.
Are you giving a speech?
I'm not. I actually made a slide deck, and
I didn't get a chance to send it.
sorry, people were sending me edits in the last minute. I was like, I don't think I can come here by 11:30. I thought it would be. So I don't think it's a speech, but I think I'm just going to play the slides. That's it.
Very nice. But you know, the slides will be a reason for people to make
Is
interesting
anybody else coming
comments.
down the hallway with you? Nobody?
Pardon?
Nobody?
There's 4 more following.
Okay, good.
Are any of them?
No.
No, he's in a meeting in the conference room still.
That's good.
Oh, he's in that conference room.
Yeah.
He is.
That's good, so this worked out well. Glad, who made the switch? I think Hong made the switch.
He made the switch because I couldn't get him into the
Okay.
cafeteria.
That's right.
So then he was afraid we
Oh,
wouldn't be
yeah, I
able
was
to
gonna look for
control
the
where he
hiking
was,
pictures.
right?
Good idea, Jack.
Oh, that's really
Remember the
nice,
hiking?
Jackie.
That's real nice.
Oh, that's
was
our
gonna-
hiking.
that's
yeah,
remember the hiking?
last year. Yeah, yeah.
That was last year?
Yeah, this
Okay.
2017.
I didn't go to
Oh, that is darling. It says
That's good.
Team Possum.
That's nice. Look at that old picture, where'd you get that?
What is that? His
Wow.
girl badge?
I know.
Wow.
That's so.
On
The
Google?
weather's decent.
One has to go out to Google and
Yeah.
purge.
Did you sign the phone?
Pardon?
Did you sign the phone?
No, I didn't. I didn't have a chance to get over.
Oh, that's where I wrote that. Yeah.
It's not bad.
But the traffic is,
Oh, there it is.
Most of it is on
Famous guy.
southern.
Suzanne, did you go to the Mana Contemporary one of the firm? You didn't?
I had a conflict.
Oh, really?
Sunday.
There's 3
Keep
of them.
flapping.
It was all day.
I come up.
can't avoid.
No, there were 3 of them. There was one
Well,
on,
I come
I
up-
think, first Saturday.
I don't come up.
I couldn't have gone Saturday. I had a conflict on Sunday. So you're telling me I missed a Monday?
No,
that's-
there wasn't a Monday. They were either on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, no, I can't ever go on a Saturday, and I couldn't go that Sunday.
Okay.
I really
Maybe,
missed it.
maybe there's only, I
Were
don't
you
know.
able to go?
Yeah, I went to the second one. Yeah, it was, I went to the workshop.
You look as though
It
you're
was
gonna
quite
ask me a
well attended. There might have been
You want
100
to do
people
A
there.
hundred, wow.
You're looking way too attentive.
Did you go to the symposium? This one?
Yes,
On the
symposium,
12th?
yeah.
Yeah, I know that feeling. I went into Laura's
I
office
wasn't-
the other day,
That was
and I said,
that was
I've
the
got a question for you.
Yeah,
I've gone
it's been a
I've
while. You
walked
know,
all the way
the
there.
symposium part of the arts peak was mind-numbing.
Really, like,
Oh, yeah, they speak with words that don't mean anything.
I know, their vocabulary set is like, these are English words, but we don't even know.
Yeah, we did.
Gather around everybody.
Exactly.
Okay, so I was
And I
thinking,
remember
so
when our
what's the-
stock was $4 a share as well.
I woke up. I remember those dreams.
He's still reviewing with multi-presence, I think. He asked for 10 minutes, no 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Good
but
for
that
you.
gives everyone
Give
else a
him
chance to
5
arrive, right?
5 minutes, pizza, 10 minutes.
We should go
Eat the pizza.
ahead of time.
Yeah,
Smells good.
it's only getting cold.
Well, just leave the
Yeah.
anchovy.
Where it is? I didn't see it.
By the way, you remember the Korean people?
Everybody.
Oh, so this was here.
Like 2 days ago.
Hello, hello.
Very articulate.
Yeah,
Good to see this one.
we shouldn't have done this on Friday.
Let's practice. But they did edit it, I believe.
That's true.
Because I did a video, I spoke to Julia for maybe an hour. Yes, and it was a lovely conversation. She's a delightful person.
I mean, I
But thankfully, they edited it,
round
and they
to
did
the,
and also
the
for sound,
cafeteria.
and it sounded almost brilliant, almost brilliant. As the editing was wonderful, how the overlap.
Yeah, that is that.
Well, it's a single person.
So I would, if you have a pointer, I don't know if I want to see it, but
Yes.
Yeah.
What happened so far, they said three links.
So you're still doing that face-to-face stuff? Hasn't morphed into something else?
You're here every day.
Yes, I'm here every day.
How you doing?
I'm not going
Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Yeah, that hasn't morphed into a different project. These things
Yeah.
So
change very rapidly.
This one is terrible. It's 30 years ago.
No, you see the green.
Okay, good. They will show you the give me the baseline.
I put that picture.
Good.
They want to do like very creative
I
statement.
don't know.
And that is worth many years of That's right.
Why not? We'll make sure you
Oh, sorry, Terry.
Not many changes yet.
Because I was doing so many things at the same time and
Ray apologized.
So you got
Didn't know there was video. I guess I'm not going to be prepared.
no, you see, you're going to use a phrase in a
And
second, which
it
is
wasn't
definitely not what
an
you're supposed to
interview,
use in
as you
Japanese.
know. It was just talk.
I know, but I don't know. I mean, my vision is colored by my
You should, because
culture. But
yeah, I did.
I would think
This
that
is what I
that's mine.
So to just summarize your
well, I mean,
come on, you got to stop digging your hole here.
but
I did because of you. I
I'm
got
happy to
late.
accept
Well,
But
yeah,
it's
that's
there,
the point.
as it
They
is.
are doing it.
I know edits.
Yeah, quantitatively,
Oh,
it must be.
oh, what a picture!
They must be pleasant. Couldn't be.
vintage do you think that is?
Right, but then so the question is, we're never going to know.
Actually, he's from
You need more supply than that.
Or in the kitchen.
What is that one?
I'm in the piano
Not
right now.
official, that's only 40 years.
Therefore,
Are we supposed to turn off the lights and like scare him or something?
sweet.
Yeah. You know,
It's a shame.
We're not gonna eat you.
Of all days for you to wear those sneakers.
Sneakers, look at that. Awesome.
It said I was metrosexual. I'm still trying to figure out what that means.
Oh, we'll know what that
Are those Eagles green? Is that the?
Yeah, that's my.
Yeah, that's it, yeah. Eagles green, right.
I was looking forward to a review of.
Yes, this one also, he's disappointed.
So why are we here?
Yeah, why?
Why? Okay. We are here not because of Paul. There's nothing to do with Paul, right? We are here because of number 40. Do you know the importance of number 40? No?
Aren't
So-
you 40? Isn't it your birthday?
Oh, yeah, I'm 40 years old.
So,
over 30.
I did
Does this
look
have
up.
anything to do with these mails last night?
Oh, yeah.
They didn't make any sense, so now I know why.
So I did look online for number
This didn't
40.
make any sense. Okay.
Number 40. So if you go on Wikipedia, the whole list of why number 40 is important. Right. But who cares about it? We only care about the people close to us, people here. Right? So I asked everybody, everyone related to Paul, what number 40 means. I got the list of answers. Okay? So now let's start with me. Okay? To me, what is number 40? To me, the number 40 is the 40 is the number of times I have asked Paul for promotion.
That's true.
But that's, Because I started to ask him 41st time. I said, no, that's enough. So I asked Larry, what's the importance of number 40? Larry said, 40 is the number of people Larry wants to be in his team to do smart city.
To do the coding.
But I haven't gotten that wish yet.
And 40 is times Paul said, that's not possible.
Where's Roger?
I asked Terry. Where's Terry? Terry says 40 is the number of hands she wishes she had when Paul is around. Down the list.
How about the summer students? So they get ready.
Kim.
Be here.
To Kim, 40 is the number of iterations you must do to the snowflake to satisfy Paul.
I want 40 times smaller.
Rich.
Forget this 10x stuff. Right? 40x.
Rich, 40, you said, 40 is a heartbeat rate. His heartbeat rate. When Paul asks, where's my face recognition? By the way,
It should go the other way.
Sanjay sent the email. He said that he couldn't be here. And he said, congratulations. For, I don't know what, but he said And he said 40 is the number of times he has asked Paul, where's my face recognition?
There for trickle now.
Go down the list. Jackie, what's the 40? To Jackie, 40 is the number of times an old person has to fall in order for her to predict the falling of that person.
That's your training set.
That's a good training set, yes. Xiaoyang said 40 is the number of times he has been asked to produce deep learning models for a demo. Probably it's actually close to 400.
Can you find a cone?
Okay.
Jian Hong?
I didn't say anything.
Yeah. 40 is the number of PSNR in DB that Paul wants from you on the recovered images from your camera.
That's a nice picture.
Gone. What's 40?
This is a predictive model.
40 is the number of countries gone visits every year. And it's also the number of YouTube videos he has been in. But Larry has been in 400. Doreo.
Okay.
40 is the number of drinks you have delivered to Marcus Weldon on the total part. Is that true?
40 is the number of hours that it
Tell you
takes
what.
to deliver one drink.
Mike House. To Mike, 40 is the total number of times you and I ask Paul for a promotion. Remember, it's the number of times I ask and the number of times you ask. Wow, that's not fair. I wish I had his beer.
Who is that Santa Claus guy?
Right. Water. You didn't know that. You didn't know that. You don't know that.
So
You
you
don't
make
know.
something.
No. Listen too. Just listen. You have to be prepared for this.
Okay.
40 is the number of channels you have to do echo cancellation in your spatial.
Yeah, but that's not what I want from Paul. I want 40 microphones.
Shin. Yes, Shin.
So, Alicia, you see where all these purchase orders come from?
That was our understanding.
Shin. To Shin,
I thought what he wrote on the paper, he didn't write anything.
So Xin, 40 is the number of times at each seminar Xin says, oh, I have done that before. and for you it's not so, it's boring for you. 40 is the number of Bayer Labs projects Paul has asked you to do each year.
This is the coffee you make every day. If you count the coffee.
Wrong. Wrong purpose. Wrong is in the math project.
Oh, I forgot to bring the laptop down. Shoot.
Ron must
That's
be
all his
waiting
fault.
for you in the other room.
Okay.
That's
He
why
must
we
be
were
waiting
trying
for
so
you
hard to
there.
get you out of building 2, so we could do it over there.
I understand now.
So to Ron,
Kids
40,
go over my head, as you know.
40 is the number of times his face jumps back and forth from one screen to another. Monday is not here.
No.
But can I make a joke on him?
Sure, of course. He can't fight back. Yeah, right.
To Monday, 40 is the number of years he will continue working on VSA.
And want a new purchase order each
Before
time.
before DARPA approves it, or whatever.
Right.
Suzanne,
Oh.
I ask you, so 40, to you, 40 is the maximum number of dollars you allow Paul to spend every year. But 40 is also times you wish that was true.
What kind of exponent is on that?
How many zeros?
Peter was not here. I have so many for Peter. But so let's skip Peter. Jean is not here.
He's at the Innovation Center.
Annex.
Oh.
To Annex, 40 is the number of times Peter has said to Paul, no, you cannot have Annex back.
I'm still trying.
Nice. 40 is the number of times you have asked Paul, when can I come back? Victor.
Hey.
Our VIP today. Victor, 40 to you is the number of times you have said to Paul, good. But remember, for Victor, good is bad. Victor has to say very, very, very good. That means, oh well, that's so.
Victor and I would visit people, and Victor would say yes, and people afterwards, oh, I heard Victor said yes. I said yes, but that was the no. Yes. So I know the yes, and the no, yes.
Jack's not here. Hazel should be here. You know who I'm talking? I always have trouble with his name.
Jacques?
Jacques.
Jacques.
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
a trouble.
Jacques.
Hey, should I be here? Let's make a joke. 40 is a number of people whose service anniversaries he can always remember.
And
Birthdays.
And birthdays.
Right.
Boyd,
Yes.
what's your 40? 40 is the number of times you have seen Paul falling from his bicycles. Bob. 40 is the number of times Bob has tried to escape from Paul and eventually succeeded.
No, not completely.
I have it for Adrian.
Oh.
Real time, this is real time.
I have a real time for him too.
Okay, go ahead, there you go.
The number of times he has to serve to get one in.
Alicia.
Number of times per year he goes to Germany.
Alicia.
Okay, you can do
Mr.
one.
Ron, he's here.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, hi,
Ron.
Ron.
Ron, we have done yours already.
No, do it again.
Ron, do you know what the 40 means to you?
The what?
Number 40.
40 was my football, was my
That's a wrong answer.
That's the one.
40 is the number of times your face jump back and forth between the screens. Alicia.
The number of times she's wagged her finger at me saying,
No.
Fred, no, you didn't do that purchase order right.
So finally, to Paul, 40 means 40 years service anniversary. Congratulations.
I can't count, but 40 great friends, and that's really the only reason why I'm still here.
You want to go through? Yeah, let's go through this first. So Jackie
Get him a
prepared
seat.
some.
He's the guest of honor here. Is there a chair?
There's one right here.
There's one right
Here.
And you sit here or?
Guys, does everyone feel okay if I made this video? I'm just going to give it to Paul to give to Kathy so they can watch it together. I didn't ask permission, I just realized.
You need to sign a consent form.
I mean, I stopped it just then, but I thought I should go on for Jackie's.
For her, it's 40 times a month where she says, what time are you leaving work?
Oh,
What time are you going to work?
Are you still at work?
You'll be there for a bit.
10 more minutes.
So, under Hong's guidance and everybody's input here, I put together this one for you to watch.
My guidance.
Under Hong's guidance.
Oh, Hong's guidance, okay.
Yes. And all the pictures that you see here and all the notes and codes, they're all inputs from everybody here. And also some few of us who are not here in person. So congratulations, Paul.
Thank you.
And this is created by the team Possum. This was our picture from last year's hike. That's congratulating you for 40 years of service. And as I move on, each one of you who have given me inputs and who have not given me inputs, please say a line quickly when it comes to your slide. So some of our memories working with you. I'll start off with Peter. And Peter is not here, I think. So this is what he had to say.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Paul has always been very open for multi-site collaborations for various reasons. and
Right,
this is
Duval is number one.
Some of the reasons that he said.
I guess that's Antwerp?
Yep.
Central Station.
Yep, yep. Great place. And if you drink one of those beers, watch out. They're strong.
And next, Larry, where are you? You can go
Ah,
over
of
your
course.
slide.
The famous
So Larry had
charging
few
cord.
codes for you. Larry, over to you.
So Paul, when you hired me back here, you said you wanted to help reload the pipeline. That was in not 2018, but 2008 when I
Okay.
came back here. And I appreciated that. It sounded like you really appreciated what I could do. In fact, right now, I see oil everywhere. The pipeline has burst. It's and not, obviously not just me, a small component, but everyone here has produced a lot of stuff, and I equate that to the oil pipeline
Okay.
bursting. However,
Sounds messy.
within a month, I remember sitting in a meeting with you, and it was me presenting some stuff, and Paul, and you introduced this as being my project. This project was the most important in the department, and I felt really, really good about this until a few days later. We were probably in Ed Sutter's, and I knew that it wasn't the most important. Well, there's that there. And so- Exactly, and subsequently, everyone's project is the most important in the department. The way that Paul introduces my talks, I give a number of demos, the screen in the front, and Paul introduces me and he says, Larry, the time is not unlimited. You might want to limit your anecdotes. I like my anecdotes. Do you remember the there was a cake, I think that I brought in a cake maybe for the anniversary of the Queen or something. I'm the only representative
Right.
of the Commonwealth here. And I wrote a little blurb and I sent it out an email, and you subsequently sent it to people, but one of the people was your wife. And
Right.
that is the highest level that you have sent
Yeah.
anything
Yeah, that's
here.
right.
I realize you appreciated
Right.
that. And finally, everyone knows many of your accomplishments, and probably the most pervasive is HGTV, is everyone has an HGTV in the world. However, much more important than that is saving the earth, the environment, and all that. And Paul, as many of you might know, was very instrumental in having this highly used car charging station. So this is in the middle of the day. Paul was here. I was here. I have a plug-in car as well. There's no one at that, and I don't think there is. That was just a random day. I chose to go over there. I
Right.
pretty much knew that there'd be no one there.
Until
And
they
Paul
changed, until they changed that 50-cent thing.
Exactly. We're not paying that kind of amount of money.
Oh,
So he was
really?
instrumental in
Yeah.
getting Bell Labs to
That's our
spend
next
that money to
crusade.
save the earth.
Yeah.
And also, they put it in the wrong parking lot.
When's it coming to the east lot?
Well,
Yeah.
we
Extension
can
cord.
update that.
Right. Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Larry. Next is Han.
Wow.
So
About 40
for me,
projects.
it has been too long with Paul. As far as I know, Paul invented everything but internet. Although he did, but it was claimed by somebody else. So we can't we can't fight with our goal. So here's at least the things that I remember Paul invented. But to prove that Paul, you really invented them, can you spell out what they mean?
I could spell every single one.
Okay.
That's embarrassing.
So
Seriously?
there's actually
I didn't know that.
more on this we didn't have time to put in. Sorry, Xiaoyang had the list, I didn't have time to put in. Okay.
Are you sure about this 2005? I thought 2005 is the time.
Oh, you are right. I
Back.
think it's 1995.
You went away and came back.
No. This is I meant it to be.
He tried to go away.
Yeah.
40 times, that's
We
fine.
went to
The gear.
electronics. Yeah.
But there's a long rope.
No, it's 1995. Sorry, 1995. Yeah.
Now, did you mean, is that FCC a typo or is that FEC?
If this, that's what you guys did, the first channel change, I think.
Oh, okay, that. I thought FEC was also there too.
You just insulted Rich. Oh, that.
What was minimally adequate?
Minimally adequate.
Okay, next, Jim.
Weren't we talking about to
Where
be
are you?
minimally
Shane.
adequate?
So fast of me.
Oh, yeah, I had to explain something.
Oh, sorry.
What Les is quoting is, our president, Marcus Weldon, told us to do fast channel change, but only make it minimally adequate. That's the bar he set for us.
Well, the reason was we were doing a fast channel change that was supposed to sit on the services blade of the Stinger, and they didn't want to overhang Stinger sales with what, it's our version of the Microsoft D server effectively. And so he told us minimally adequate. And of course we had, what was his name, the Shannon talk, talking about not doing minimally adequate
Right,
products.
Brian Collins.
That was the story I thought about, that came back. And apparently it still gets revenue for the video BU. Whereas in Cambridge, it gets a few million a year still out of Saskatoon.
Good. Support our habits.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to Shin. Next, Shin.
Yeah, so basically I have been working with Paul since March 16, 2015. So it's 3 years, 2 months plus 2 days. Very active.
And how many
That's
hours?
too. That means something. It's too long. 20 hours long.
Yeah, they can maybe add some like minutes and hours, then it make it 40.
It's funny, I count the days too.
Yeah. So this basically to
I
tell you
only did
that
that when
even
I had my first child. After that, I forgot to do that.
so the left figure actually is we're trying to clean my office because it's always terrible. So I found there's some note and who is writing? Okay, I figured out if you think Paul maybe just in the meeting there where actually he did he did write some paper for me. So this is the proof. And the right part basically is the Google proof that. I worked with Paul. I'm working
There,
with-
there are one or two sentences that were okay in that whole paper. Changed.
Of course, Han and Gang both dress a lot, contribute a lot. The Paul eventually say, okay, I will write this way. The question you can ask is, can you recognize this, what I wrote? I said, probably yes.
Okay, thank you,
Thank you, Shin.
Next, Darrell.
Ah,
Let's
yeah.
see.
yeah.
Yeah, the pianist.
That was 2 years ago.
What is it?
You can
years
say
ago, but
anything.
It's the very concentrated message of what Paul is. It's the pianist, the conductor, and the orchestra in the same picture. So that's what we work with.
Artist.
Artist.
I think I was playing chopsticks.
Yeah.
The only thing I know.
Any special memory that you want to share?
There are so many that it would be overwhelming going here with them.
Okay, the next is, oh, me. So I've been working with Paul. You hired me as a summer intern
Right.
exactly 10 years ago. So this May it will be 10 years.
I could make some comment about that.
Sure. One memory, or I've learned a lot in the last 10 years from the team and from you. One thing I remember was we were getting into a meeting and you said, out of the blue, you were rushing out and you asked me, can you talk and write? I was like, what is this about? I mean, this has nothing to do with a meeting. And then 10 minutes later, we were rushing through that longest hallway in Building 1.
I remember that.
You were running out, and I was running with you, and I was taking notes
Right,
and
right,
talking,
right.
and I was doing all at the same time.
Yeah.
That
I
was
remember that.
was multitasking, and I
Right.
learned that from you. So that was my experience.
Right. Yeah, and you got everything. I remember that.
Yeah. And Boyd and Jacques actually had a lot of pictures, which is coming up in few more slides. But
Wow.
this one, both of them sent me the same picture that you see on the left. And I took some of the pictures. I don't know if you both remember. This was probably from one of the Christmas dinners
Yeah.
in 2013, I think, 13 December. But yeah, if you have some words about the Atlantic Ocean picture, that would be great.
Well, I know Boyd took us on that boat and later it sank, right?
Whoa.
Yes, it did.
So, be careful when Boyd asks you.
The leak wasn't fast enough.
Boyd, do you want to add something to
No, but I've always admired your enthusiasm for extracurricular activities, and that was a nice time too.
Actually, this looks like a Calvin Klein. You know, the actor?
Yeah.
It goes with my sneakers. That's Silvio, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
John Leszczuk?
Right.
Yeah.
And Jacques and John.
John Smith.
Smith.
Yep.
Right.
That was from Atlanta. Is that Walter explaining things?
Looks like.
I think it is, yeah.
There he is. That's all.
Walter's been trying to explain things to me.
For 40 years.
I still have no idea what he's talking about.
This was after a beer too,
And
right?
it continued
So-
today. That's why we were late.
Okay, so we'll move on to Ed.
Well,
Ed, where are
so
you?
Jackie sent out this request for for pictures and memorabilia with Paul, and I think I've probably known Paul longer than anybody here, like 92, right?
Yeah.
And I felt bad because I didn't send anything the first time, and in a couple days she begged people to say something good about Paul.
Somebody must be
I'm
one thing.
Those
I'm not
are
sucking up really,
our
because I think he
secrets.
looks really stupid in those sneakers. Nevertheless, he's been a good friend, and I've enjoyed his company and his friendship and his management and all of that good stuff, so. Somebody had to say something else.
Thank you.
Ed has something for you later, so we'll get to that next. Next is Walt.
Oh, boy.
And I must add, Walter sent me 2 revisions for this, and he kept sending me changes until last minute. So it's so much effort that he's put into it. So.
Walter, we need
No,
full detail on this.
Yes. So, I mean, this is about the making of a great storyline. It's what I learned from Paul. And in particular, it's about modeling Paul's cognitive functions. So, what he often hears in meetings, his ideas get expressed to him, and oftentimes they're incoherent, too many details, convoluted, redundant.
Yes, that's all right.
So that's his input. Then in the first stage, I mean, he first makes sure he really understands exactly what you're saying. So he often starts a phrase, I think you said. But at the same time, he has a noise detector because oftentimes he hears too much noise and he wants to get rid of this stuff. And so it has some adaptive filter process there.
Right.
And so at that stage, he has the noise removed. And then comes the deconvolution filter. Now that's, now sometimes even Paul can't deconvolve your ideas. If the deconvolution is ill-posed,
Right.
or it has no solution, or you have too many zeros in the transfer function. So,
Right.
so then the next critical step is model order minimization. You know, Paul wants to have a simple idea, it's very clearly, and so he extracts the information, the most important information, and retains that. He basically distills, that's the distilling process, but distilling an idea and nothing else here. So then the final step is what he probably learned from speech coding. That's a well-known method, spectral sharpening. And but I have to say, so he applies spectral sharpening to your ideas. And what he does, so he moves the poles closer to the unit circle. But sometimes it happens that the stability condition is not fulfilled.
I see, they cross that circle.
Yes.
Yes, I feel like that every day.
Good luck to you.
Okay, well, thank you, Walter.
Yeah, the output is brilliant, concise,
I
to the
wish,
point,
I
coherent.
wish.
And thank you for teaching us how to, trying to make a very good storyline.
I think this is an iterative algorithm. You need to loop like 40 iterations to make it work, right?
Nice slide, Walter. Yes, very good slide, thank you.
Thank you.
Victor, you probably remember wrestling with Walter for a long time.
So now we can go around the table for a few more because I missed a lot of you in the slides. So now is your chance to say anything you want to say.
I didn't have time to put an input in. I guess, like Ed, I think I probably know Paul from about the same era. So I wound up joining when Bill Brinkman fired me in 1993. And I think I was about 2 weeks short of 20 years when I got stripped off the department. So somehow you didn't manage to get rid of me. But anyway, I'd say I would probably characterize sort of the journey with Paul as about 40 different projects. And it seemed in the heyday, with the Atlanta project and the other things going on, we probably had about 40 projects going on at the same time. You remember that was Advanced Technologies with you, Victor. So that was really that was one big roller coaster of a ride. And I remember among the managers, we used to swap movie quote lines. I'm not sure whose are whose, but some of the favorite ones are, I have come to put you back on schedule,
Right, right.
being coached to tell people.
Right.
But I kept, so that was always a good line, but I kept, and also I have a bad feeling about this, was one of the replies. But the other part of I've come to put you back on schedule that I always had to remind Paul about is I could use that line, but there's the second part of that. The emperor's not nearly as forgiving as I. So that's not so good. Darth Vader playing good cop doesn't work. So anyway, Paul, congratulations
Thanks,
on
Les.
40.
Thanks.
Anyone else want to add something?
Well,
Yeah, sure.
so for the, I don't know how many years, maybe since 2011 when I started, we started working together, and I always, I learned to appreciate the kindness, the ethical and moral stance of Paul, and his care for the company as well for the people as a whole. And for me, it has been a pleasure, and one of the persons, the people that I work nicely in the company.
Thank you, Lisa.
So I had to look back in my notes to see when this adventure started. And it turns out the summer of 1998 was when I started working for you.
You were
So-
from Lucent Speech, right?
It was even before, it was on this journey called CD Radio.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And I read a lot of stuff that I was concerned with about CD Radio. Anyway, so it's almost 20 years, and that's a long time. And I think it's been a great 20 years. I think one of the things I've learned to admire about you is that you're a Time Lord, just like Doctor Who. Because I've learned the concept over those 20 years of the Wilford 5 minutes. As in, it's pretty late, I'm still here, I'm working at my desk, I'm supposed to talk with Paul. He runs in and says, I have to talk to a guy, I'll be back in 5 minutes. So like 4 hours later, I'm still sitting there, and I get a phone call from somewhere in the ether. Oh, things got backed up a little bit. So I've learned to be very flexible about time.
Right.
Anyway, congratulations.
Thank
It's
you.
been great.
Thank you.
Well, I have, so I joined with Paul back when we had the breakup of AT&T and Lucent, and I came in under Paul then, mostly because Cheswick decided that he was going to airlift us out, and somehow between you and Corin,
Right.
they negotiated the three of us to show up while they figured out what they were really going to have us work on.
Right.
And then we've separated, and now I'm back again.
Full circle.
Full circle. Hopefully for very good. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Victor?
Oh, yes, I have to speak. Well, Paul, I can't believe you've been here 40 years.
Right.
Really. Time flies.
Yeah, it does.
But Paul has done so much. In fact, as I was driving from Homedale here, I was thinking about so many things that Paul has done. So many great things. Now, he started his career, I guess, working in the transmission area and working on, is it Cross Connects or?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
Cross Connects. Yeah, and then of course came the, I think was it the HDTV days?
Yep.
Came the HDTV days when Arun Trevali decided to put together a group, and one group was Paul's group, and there was another one with George Kuska,
Kuska.
who was supposed to do the transmission, the modulation, and Paul and his whole group were supposed to do the video coding, to bring all these things together to have the digital HDTV that we do have. But anyway, I became closer to Paul just at the time of the HDTV, because I was the one that helped Arun to put this thing together. I told him that he can rely on two people, Paul and George Kuska. So those were the two uncles that And then, of course, as time went on, HDTV, they spent many nights together to get this thing done. I guess, was Larry part of it?
No, he was probably laughing from the side at the time.
I was across the hall, and I wasn't laughing, I was pitying those guys who'd be working 25 hours a day.
Yeah.
Weekends.
Yeah. And well, anyway, it was a big success. And of course, many things came out of that. But other things that I can remember was Sohail Khan.
Yep.
Yeah, now, well, we're all in advanced technology, so we had to get funding from many business units. Paul always had extra money. He always had extra money. And he always believed in certain things that he really had to do that would change the whole communications industry. One thing he believed in was in the ATM and the IP chipsets. So we tried to convince Microelectronics that they should fund this. So I remember one day we went over, Paul told me, come over, we'll go and have lunch with Sohail Khan.
Yeah.
When we went to Sohail Khan, I think it was in an Indian restaurant
Yep.
on Route 22.
Yep.
So we thought that we were going to do this and bring money and do everything. So Sohail Khan told us that we are too late. All this has been done before. And furthermore, he wanted us to pay for the lunch. Just to tell us that we are late. Anyway, Paul never listened to him. He went on, and of course it became a big success. The ATM chips, the ITM chips, I don't know even what you call them. But as Paul has moved so much from the DSP through the OSI 7 layers, the first time was he did a lot of work on DSPs for the video coding and others. And then, of course, you were one of the first to talk about network processors, layers 2 and 3.
Yeah.
And there, I think he went on to have partnership with, is it Aguirre?
It was the first gear.
The first Aguirre in
Yeah.
Texas.
The Texas one, yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody by name Fortema.
Oh, yes.
They're all part of all these things as they went on. And another thing I remember about it is that he was also very instrumental in this series radio. In fact, if you listen to the radio, you have to think about Paul, because there were two parts of it. He did the encoder, his group did the encoder for series. It's now, I guess it's now, series has now partnered with XM. Series, yeah. So they did the encoder, and I remember, what's his name? Vinay.
Yeah.
Yes, and others were part of this. Yeah. And then, of course, he did the other end as well, the decoder chipsets as well. And so you could see that in the series, in this series thing, Paul's hand is in all of these things going through. There are many. I can go on for days talking about the great things about Paul. But Paul is really a very loyal person. And I think you all know he's so loyal to all of you. Really. He's so loyal to the institution, Bell Labs. There have been so many things that he has contributed to. But I remember his loyalty is the greatest part of it all. But not only that, on the humanitarian part, he goes down to Africa to help very many poor people. So Paul, if you look at him, he's a unique individual. There are not many people like Paul, both technically as well as in personality. In fact, all through the time I've known him since the early 90s or something, nobody has ever said a single bad thing about Paul.
Oh, I don't know about that. I wish that were true.
Well, the folks have to tell me.
Do you remember Jeff Jaffe?
Yes, I remember Jeff Jaffe. Yeah. But anyway, Aaron couldn't be here. He really wanted, he's still struggling.
Yeah.
But he really, I asked Chitra, the wife, I told him that Les told me about this and that can Arun do something. Said if they could, they would try and send something.
Oh, okay, thank you.
He says he sends his very best wishes to you.
Okay.
40 good years.
Right.
And you've achieved a lot. So I'm happy I'm here with you folks.
Yeah.
To praise Paul.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor. You've been a great role model and a great mentor. And again, thank you all. It's the friendship that I like.
Some few pictures
Oh.
that
Survivor
Ron
platform.
had.
Ah, okay.
Corporate survivor.
Bell, AT&T, Nokia, Lucent, Alcatel.
Sort of out of order.
Oh.
This is for you. Called out.
Oh, thank you. Anniversary. Oh, wow. Thank you. Lots of signatures.
About 40.
About 40?
About 40. Oh, thank you.
Oh, very nice.
Good. I need this for my wearable talk. Thank you very much. And now when we do heart rate, I can see if it's right. Uh-oh. Yeah. As usual, you'll have to help me sync it, figure it out. Thank you all.
Some pictures, well, we recognize all of it.
Yeah.
Because you were in it, and a few more.
Riding bikes in the rain.
Is that the Western Beef?
Western Beef,
Yes.
yes. Staten Island.
Some from the hikes.
Yeah.
Dinners.
There's Pat Duncan, Colleen,
Yes.
Beatty Wolf.
Yeah.
Good pictures.
The many good hikes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad Pat wasn't here. She would definitely, remember you asked for memories, pictures, songs?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure she would do-
added
she would do a
songs.
song.
Just a
Wow.
great lyricist.
So that's
They
what
were
we want to
Pat
say.
recently?
Look forward to working with you for another 40 more years.
Thank you, Jackie. Seems like a long time. Okay, well, cheers to all of you. So thank you.
So Paul, you came in 78.
Yep, as a OYOG. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. 1 year on
1 year on
campus.
campus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
And for reasons that,
What did you do?
You came in.
You came before, and then you went to Noya Kwe.
and then I went back to Cornell
Cornell.
for a master's.
For the masters.
Yeah. And I had to send my grades in to my boss here because they would only pay for your education if you got B's. So
B's are better.
No A's, only B's.
Don't want to show them up.
Right. Do you remember Jack Stauffer?
Yeah, Jack Stauffer.
Yeah, so he was my boss, and then he brought in Goebel.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Larry, another cake.
Do you want to do a group picture before everyone disperses? How about a group picture?
That smells good.
Ed Roberts.
Yeah, and you have to do that. Maybe if you don't mind, you can do it also one.
Manager sets, drivers,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Before we saw our clothes.
Everybody on that side. All in the middle.
Oh, we're taking
We'll take picture first.
Okay, well.
Facebook, and then one by one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
We're
for it.
all 40 years later, right? So.
Next to you. I'm gonna sit down. Come in, Isha. All right, everyone, like, come in so that. Yeah?
So my family has
Wait, do you have that?
The picture, yeah.
Darrell, is your camera good enough to see 40?
Hopefully,
Up
yes.
higher.
And it didn't actually.
You got a tripod in the lab.
Good? Okay, so now Darrell's gonna come into the picture.
Is that a 360-degree camera, Darrell?
Almost.
5 seconds.
It was wrecked, but I think.
Oh, everyone's in, that's pretty awesome. Now, which button? Hang on.
But I don't know.
Okay,
if that
big
ever happened.
smiles, nobody's eyes are closed. Lovely.
Great.
Thank
you. Thank you.
I thought that you wanted to take one of yours.
Oh, I can come with my
Yeah, okay. Don't move.
Okay, just one more time.
Okay, come back in again.
Just one more time.
Turns out my camera doesn't have a
Another picture.
There's another picture. Okay, this is the sort of disorganized picture. Pull in on this side because mine is not wide angle.
I don't cover anybody, right?
Okay. Everyone's smiling again. Thank you. There's Darrell. Okay.
Oh, this camera is better.
Now eat. Now eat. Everyone eat.
Put that plate.
Hey, Victor, thanks for coming. I've got to run. 'cause I've
Oh,
got a
yes, I have to
customer
do-
call.
Okay. So we'll see you then.
Yeah. Oh, this your donut player?
Paul,
Yeah.
one more.
All healthy.
I want a picture with you. Anybody else take a plate?
Okay.
Eat and run.
Beijing.
You have to average your height.
Yeah.
That was originally 20 years, right?
And some pizza everything. Yeah, eight.
Couple of things I want to run by you.
Going fast.
This one for you.
Yeah. And the 4-year. Maybe just one.
I think we'll just get the close up.
Beautiful castle.
Did we forget to sing?
We don't want to sing.
Oh, let's see. Tom, you and Paul in this direction. Oh,
You like them?
there we
you
go.
like to see them?
Standing together, very nice. Very
Great.
nice. Of course, it's not a degree camera, whatever. Thank you.
This is from the picture from at
Okay. So we were in that wing. That's now demolished. When I first came to Murray Hill, I was over.
That's the stairs that every artist that has to play there has to go upstairs to go to the stage.
Yeah.
But in this music, look at the key of this music.
it's a round that I asked for.
7 flat.
What years? Well, I don't know if for sure, but when I sent the email to I said, we need some exactly 40 years ago, so they sent me a copy. So it's around that 78.
You're welcome.
So
It's funny how much looks the same. Yeah, so the trees out here are different.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be lit.
except for this one. Also, those
Yeah, that would tell, yeah.
That area on the left was nice. It was really nice. Yeah.
This is all of the jobs.
It'd be really good idea.
Well, that's different for everyone.
Everyone's a great deal.
No, not yet.
By the way, next door, I didn't know it. My neighborhood. So I discovered that one of the rooms was closer. The other thing is why
I do.
But you just do it for
I just found
I think I have
Let's bring some pictures and what they have here.
It's better. Sometimes I find the open conversation better.
You know, really,
Yes, thanks a lot. Yeah, so I have some.
I wrote it down.
Thanks a lot.
In any case, sometimes it's so so I actually think when I saw
there are many stories that have written this morning.
You want to say
But I played tennis with Adrian and Boyd and Jess. I don't think you know her. And Jacques. Jess says whenever I wear these shoes, she loses because they're so ugly. She gets distracted by the shoes. So I wear them go away for a while.
Come on, last night. Last night.
Jersey Rush plays really well. I never was a very good tennis player, but I have enough times as it is from playing next to Drummond.
now we all
We played with one day.
I've been to night up there. Probably banana. This supposed to have
Really good friends.
that 7 o'clock class crossing the bridges. It's like no.
Several friends still feel that they try to find a position and say that, yeah, you need
Did they have a lot of
Deal with the freezing.
So many years. Like in my work,
You trained myself this week. And then the weekend. I don't think I'm gonna run. I'm just I don't want to go.
at that time, and it was so nice to have that kind of
I don't know who's good or bad. I remember when we first started working together, we were talking about boyfriends, girlfriends, then we were getting married, and kids. Now we're talking about kids getting married. Now we're talking about, oh no, our kid's gonna take care of us.
It's nice.
That's way here.
This year's that's my graduation. You know, a few younger people.
There is one female professor.
Yeah, so
She was
That's right next to I used to see
changed companies and that was contract.
There's a contract in the corner, right?
When the three ARPAs throw on computer science, they have interest in so I count, and I started with AT&T as a real live person in 91, 5 years before that.
You want these?
I'm gonna have tea.
So Victor, how many years do you have with AT&T or with Bell Labs? When did you start?
I started in 74. I started 73. I was recruited. I started in 74. I went over to, after I was recruited, I went for 1 year teaching in Africa, in Timbuktu.
And then you retired when?
2007.
Okay, so you were, so you're young, you're a newbie. Can I show up on this photo with you?
Yeah. Which one with this view?
I'm sure you don't remember, but when I got DMTS, you gave out the awards for DMTS. And we were at some place down in Navasink.
That's right. Yeah. I remember.
It was me, and I never forget one. This was acting like.
Oh, you're right.
So my wife came. We're walking in, and she didn't know who we were. And what happened was, we go over to sit down, my wife was thirsty, and you walked in, and as you are normally the servant, you were carrying a box of some kind. I guess they probably had the awards in them, I don't remember. But you were carrying the box, so you put the box down, and my wife was walking over and was thinking that you were one of the servers. She was gonna ask you to get the soda. I said, no, that's my boss's passing for.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah. I didn't. It's fine. Yes.
And if I know you, you probably would have said, sure, hold on.
Yeah. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Do you keep in touch with
Somehow.
But I hope he's doing
Was he still? I mean, he is no longer coming to the US.
But I will keep you watching.
I often think back. I know. No, he was a good one. He was like, in German we have this. We say, or we used to say, Dr. Fine, Dr. Fine. So he was a real Dr. Fine. He was. He really was behind this. He was the head of guess what? One of the electric, the single processing and then also he had some other roles to represent the like he went to Davos, to the world.
You know, he started taking
Yeah, right. You, right? Oh, really? I didn't know. But you knew him from London, from
Oh, yeah, bubbles. That's why I think that he kept that.
old habits.
But yeah, it's very easy.
There was a guy
because we are used to Microsoft PowerPoint, there's a lot of like things that you know that right click does.
I know.
If decided to go and figure out,
He was, worked in.
But it's just like,
On the change,
it depends on the
we had like this noise reduction. And was he not always
exactly what you need to. Yeah, you can really, and you can even, you can choose which social.
Yeah, that's from that, that's from the